Now that Worlds Unite is over and things are back to normal, a lot of people have had questions. The questions basically being, not only, well, not about what was the point about Worlds Unite. Not that. The main question being, is what are the repercussions? Basically, what of the aftermath when it comes to the main comics that crossed over? Now in Sonic, a lot of things have changed. Well, not a lot of things, but certain things are altered, certain events and past issues changed. One of the primary things that changed as we look at 276, which I don't have just yet, but I will, is Eggman no longer has the 7th Chaos Emerald. He doesn't have the 7th one that the Freedom Fighters need to kind of help restore the world. So basically the Chaos Emerald has gone missing. Now as TA over at Deviant points out in his new segment, his new journal or article that he does, what's Orcha Reads Archie, or Archie Sonic or something like that. He basically points out that the Freedom Fighters losing in 276, issue 276, where Sonic was off, doing his thing, trying to restore himself, and, well, not restore himself, but gain control of his werehog transformation. We see on the side that the Freedom Fighters ended up losing a battle to Eggman because basically Eggman had made a fool out of Sally and the others by making them think it was going to be easy peasy to get a Chaos Emerald and complete the collection. That wasn't the case. And as TA points out in this article, he states that the Freedom Fighters lost for nothing. That there was no reason now for that loss to occur, or no reason for them to end up being defeated by Eggman. Which technically is kind of true. Technically. But, on the other hand, the story might get altered a little bit to where it was a fake Chaos Emerald and the Freedom Fighters and Sally fell for it, thus they fell into a trap. They could alter it to be just like that, which a lot of stories have done in the past. A lot have. A lot of stories have done that in the past, so it's nothing really new. It's nothing really new whatsoever. But I kind of get where TA is coming from, because there are certain things that just don't make a lot of sense, hence in the aftermath. It really doesn't. There are certain things that have occurred in previous issues before the crossover that now have no relevance. So again, what was the point of doing any of this if they were just going to be erased? Same thing with the crossover as a lot of people look at. What was the point of doing the crossover if you were just going to have Xander Payne basically retcon it to the point that it never happened? A lot of people have those kind of questions. And I think it's up to Ian and whoever else helps write the book to answer those questions. There's a lot of stuff that's happened in this aftermath, as far as we know. Or we have yet to see. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that's happened in this aftermath that got affected or got erased or altered because of the crossover that we have yet to see. So the only question is going to be what has been affected, what was altered, and what was not. Again, the Chaos Emerald deal is basically a minor point in the eyes of some. Because, it's not a minor point, let me correct myself. It's not a minor point, it's a major part It's a major point in the eyes of some because now it leaves the door open for everybody to find the Chaos Emerald, which ironically I think is going to end up in the hands of either the Nagas twins or it's going to end up in the freaking hands of Dark Gaia herself. Which I think is a strong possibility. It's going to end up either in the hands of the Nagas twins or it's going to end up in the hands of Dark Gaia herself. So, that could happen. That could end up happening. So, but again, it does leave that door open. It does leave it open. But what else has been affected? What other aftermath? What other things have been affected in the aftermath? What has been altered? What has changed? What has not been altered? What has not been changed? See, we don't really know the answers to that yet. I know a lot of us wish we did, but we don't. A lot of us wish we knew the answers, but we don't. And quite frankly, that hurts. It hurts in a sense because, you know, everything that we've read from 252 to about the time of the crossover, especially in Sonic, is very much canon, in a sense. Like anything that has happened, any victories, any magical entities or items that they got, supernatural, whatever, we don't know how much they got affected. We don't know what was taken away, what was gained, what was not altered or changed or whatever. And again, I know some people might say that a lot of things that have been altered, like with Eggman not wanting to do the invasion of Lost Hex because he lost something that he needed, that's obviously due to the crossover and that was affected. As well as, you know, him losing his Chaos Emerald. Again, it's all about the situation to where we don't know what's going on. We don't know what's been affected. But again, TA, he brings up a good point. You know, what was the point of the Freedom Fighters now when you look back on it, even though it is in canon, what was the point of them going into that trap anyway? Being led into that trap by Eggman anyway? What was the point? There was no point. There was no point whatsoever due to the fact that there was, honestly, looking back on it from a continuity canon-wise, there was no Chaos Emerald to be found or to be taken. Now again, like I said, you know, Ian Flynn or Leo Baker or Evan Stanley or Tracy Yardlin, they might alter it to where it was a fake out and it was just a trap to lure the Freedom Fighters in to try to get rid of them. That might be something that they do. And I wouldn't put it past them. You know, comic books, whether the Marvel, DC, IDW, Image, Dreamwave, whatever, anytime they've had anytime they've had these huge event-like story arcs, either them, which on most of the time multi-issue crossovers, multi-issue crossovers with all the characters, that certain issues, certain comic book issues, or multitude of comic book issues, certain events that are taking place in their stories, in their comics, in their issues, will sometimes be altered. Sometimes a character might think they found something, but then after the crossover, it could be altered to where it was a fake out. And it was mainly, like I said, a trap or a way to test the character to see if they were ready to take on a certain role. So, you got all these different elements that occur, all these different alterations, all these different changes. So, it's nothing new, but it does confuse the readers. It does confuse the readers of, let's say, any Marvel title or any DC title. You know, and even with Sonic, confuses them, like, well, what was the point of doing that issue if that's all been changed? Only for the writers to come out later and say, well, it did happen, but we altered it to the point that it was and what I think, in my opinion, could be a fake out. So, again, we don't know exactly what aftermaths or changes or alterations have occurred after the crossover. We don't know. We don't know what has changed and what has not changed. What happened and what did not happen. What was altered and what was not altered. We don't know, basically. We won't know until probably we get to maybe closer to 300. Only then will we find out. But until that time, certain little tidbits like Eggman losing the emerald, him losing a certain thing to help him control and conquer Lost Hex, as well as control the Zete. True, those may have been changed and altered in some way, but we don't know what else has. And all I have to say is we're going to just have to wait to see what other effects the aftermath of Worlds Unite have created. So that's just my take on that. Let me know what you guys think. Talk to you later.